Hey there, my name's Rivka Lambert-Adler, and I have something on my mind, something going on with me, and I'm thinking to call this video "Keeping It Real." So I don't know. We are like 40 days or something into this coronavirus situation, and I'm a journalist by profession, and so I'm thinking about it and writing about it all the time. But I'm also a spiritual person who is looking for God in all of this and finding. So something happened to me last night. My days are, some days I'm incredibly focused and incredibly productive, and other days I'm somewhat less so. And some days I'm dealing really well, I think, spiritually with the challenges that are before us, and other days not so much. So something happened last night that I wanted to share because I think maybe other people can relate to it, and maybe it'll be helpful for me to share it with the rest of you. So I have a brother who has been living in Israel for like 13 years, 15 years, something like that. And he went on a vacation to America. And in February, kind of an extended vacation. He was planning on coming back during Pesach time, like maybe 10 days ago. Obviously, that didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen because his flight was canceled, but also he sort of set himself up right now for a more longer term stay. And as we were speaking last night, I got hit hard. I got hit hard with a wave of uncertainty about how our worlds have been rocked. Now listen, on a daily basis, I have a comfortable home. I'm sitting outside on my mirpaset on my porch, facing, well, actually my back is to Jerusalem, but the sun is shining. I don't know if you can hear there are birds singing. My Israeli flag is flying. We have food. All of our household systems are in order. I'm not alone. My husband is with me, and thank God we're living peacefully with one another. And so, and I have work, thank God. So on a daily basis, things are not so bad, even though we're in the category that we are discouraged from being out in the world, and we have relied on other kind and generous people to do most of our shopping, and we're saving a whole lot of money because we're not out there in the world so much. But I can't stop myself from thinking about what is going on in the world and about the sense of uncertainty. There are so many different scenarios about how this can end. And maybe you're a person who thinks, we just have to ride this out and things will get back to normal, whatever that was beforehand. Things will get back to normal, and that's what you're waiting for. That happens not to be the way that I see things, but the truth is nobody knows. And that's what really hit me hard, is really nobody knows. Nobody knows what today is going to bring. Nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring. Now, on a sort of existential level, that has always been the truth. We have operated as if we have had predictability and a sense of being able to make plans in the future, which who's making plans for the future? I don't know. We certainly aren't. But that has always been illusory. And the truth is that I know that. I have come to that understanding, and I believe that. And yet, the sense that I'm the headspace that I'm in right now is, wow, this is really some very serious stuff. I don't know what's coming. I hope it's all for the good ultimately. I trust in a loving God who is looking after his world and is trying to open up hearts and minds with this, and souls, and bringing people closer to an accurate awareness of how the world operates. But the fact is, there are so many unknowns. I don't know when I'm going to hug my grandchild again. I don't know when I don't know when I'll be able to go to a grocery store comfortably again, or go out for dinner, or go to a movie, or fly to America to see my elderly mother, or none of those things are in our hands. Now, what I'm what I'm trying to remind myself of is, in a way, that's exactly the thing I think we're supposed to get to, is that we have operated our lives for the most part on the assumption, in Hebrew we call this idea kochi va'otzem yadi, which means my strength and the power of my hands. That we control things, more or less, at least in our lives. We can make plans with a reasonable expectation that they will play out and so forth. But all of that is sort of an old way of thinking, and this situation has brought upon us the necessity to have a new way of thinking. And what is that new way of thinking? That new way of thinking is only God is in control, and we don't know anything. We literally don't know anything. We don't know how this is going to play out. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what the next crisis is, and we can stay in that space, which I think is kind of an arrogant space of we can manage this, we can get this under control, and then everything can go back to normal, whatever that means. But I don't think that's the purpose of all of this. So I'm relating very much this experience to the experience of any kind of national trauma, which is really what we're going through, international trauma that shakes up the foundations of everything. And I'm asking for myself and sharing with you that, some days that's harder than others. Some days it's harder. It's harder to just, this isn't a particularly Jewish expression, but let go and let God. That's really where we are. There's, the way we say this in Hebrew is, Ein od milvado. There is nothing except for God. And that place of surrender is really the only place that I'm able to find any comfort. So when it spins and hits me hard, like it did last night, the reality of not knowing what tomorrow's going to bring, the reality of being aware that we are very vulnerable as finite human beings to the will of God, and how relatively easily He could take away our illusion of control and of predictability, and of the sense that we are the players here. And so my blessing to all of you is that we use this time to really become at peace with this truth, with this essential truth that has kind of flitted around flitted around my consciousness for all of this time. But now I see I really need to own it in a way I never did before, because while I would mouth the words and I believe the words, now they're sinking deeper and deeper. And my blessing to all of us is that we're all able to do that, and we're all able to say, God, you are in control. And I appreciate all of the good that is still in my life, and I trust you, and I'm letting you run the show. Thank you for letting me talk this out with you, and be in touch if I can be helpful.